Before we start our video, I'll ask the viewers to visit our website, dicereum.xyz. Alex just gave the website a fresh new makeover to match the colors of our favorite country, Bhadeliastan. And it has tons of new features as well. It has cool multiple wiki pages of Dicerium countries such as Kusana, Nodosia, and Bhadeliastan. Additionally, it has some in-universe sites. You can contact us on Discord and see all of our videos in a single page, at least not yet, and work on our GitHub. Would you like to visit our Blue Sky profile? Me neither. Anyway, please visit the website and enjoy our video.
These were the words of Pope Bhadelia, who is perhaps the most recognizable figure in Bhadelian history, if not modern history itself. Galactism today is the number one ideology in Dicerium, owing to Bhadeliastan's previous colonial policies of forced adoption of Galactism. There is no doubt that out of all of Dicerium's many global powers, Bhadeliastan's position as the beacon of Galactism led to the nation's hegemony in significant areas around Dicerium. Obviously, this has led to Bhadeliastan's involvement in the politics, military, and media of many of its Galactus counterparts. In recent years, the once strongly united Galactus Confederation has begun to show its cracks. Coups, the rise of anti-Galactism, and civil wars placed ruling Galactus parties and leaders in a not-so-auspicious position. Many of these parties have been deposed in the previous year. These events have placed Bhadelian hegemony in jeopardy, prompting Bhadeliastan to take necessary measures in order to prevent collapse. Therefore, instead of quote-unquote bullying their Galactus tributaries close to home, the Bhadelians have expanded their operations elsewhere. The following chapters will look into the recent Bhadelian foreign entanglements throughout Dicerium. When war broke out, the Cambones immediately rushed to arm the Vyshnian military and militias, and requested for the sale of Bhadeliastani arms and weapons. However, Bhadeliastan wasn't officially involved in the conflict at the time. Instead, around the Battle of Motra in 1982, they sent the Special Task Unit, which is basically the equivalent of the KGB or CIA. This proved to be marginally effective, however, and the push began for a full Bhadeliastani intervention. In 1984, after the Battle of Poyen ended in the encirclement of the Vyshnians by the BRA, Nikolai Bogdan successfully appealed to Emperor Sharoon to make Bhadeliastan fully engage in the conflict. Bhadeliastani involvement seemed hopeful at first. Though a bit incompetent, the sheer number of the combined force between the VNA and the Bhadeliastanis quickly overwhelmed the BRA, forcing their retreat. Unfortunately for Bogdan's troops and the untrained Bhadeliastani intervention force, they missed one key element in the war which would inevitably cause their defeat: Palsh. The Palshians obviously didn't want a Galactus puppet and genocidal maniac on their relatively undefended borders, and so they began transporting weapons to the BRA via the Meinhof Trail and a number of tunnel networks. Armed to the teeth with Palshian weapons and with superior logistics capabilities, as well as guerrilla warfare and prodigy commanders, the BRA launched a series of attacks and offensives against Vyshnia in the coming years. The Bhadeliastani intervention force, being led by incompetent military leaders, who conveniently also happened to be the ones Bhadeliastan wanted to get rid of, succumbed to the annihilating BRA forces. Becoming desperate, Bhadeliastani military leaders ordered airstrikes on civilian towns such as Jodhstorp, claiming the lives of thousands and souring public relations with the general public, as well as with the international community. Following the June 1989 riots against Bhadeliastani involvement in the Civil War, the nation began the process of withdrawing from Vyshnia, along with the STU, who assassinated Sven Geldof's successor, Andreas Geldenhuis, before doing so. Since the Great Withdrawal from Vyshnia, the Vyshnian nation was disenlightened, and fighting eventually died down as Camboan forces replaced their Bhadeliastani counterparts in helping the Vyshnians in a period known as the April Thaw, which is a massive stalemate. Finally, in December 2000, almost a decade since the thaw began, the BRA, led by Sven Geldof's daughter, Marie Geldof, successfully launched an offensive into southern Vyshnia, thus forcing the nations involved in the war to sign a treaty to end the two-decade-long war. As for Bhadeliastan, it was re-recognized as a separate country after decades of struggle. Thus, the Bhadeliastan intervention ended in failure, but Bhadeliastani politicians still try to claim that the whole thing wasn't really a loss, due to the fact that Bhadeliastan withdrew a lot earlier before the war concluded and are not coping at all.
Bring back Gavrius.